good morning, and welcome to this special Island Stats Referee Corner here on IslandStats.com. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me is Odette Hamilton. Hamilton is an official who has been in Bermuda assisting the Bermuda Football Association in making sure that our league season and our cup matches have been able to be completed. Odette, first of all, thank you very much for assisting us. We always like the fact that you make yourself available whenever the opportunity arises to come and give us a hand. Um, but let's talk a little bit about you yourself. You were a finalist in for the Women's World Cup. You were selected as a finalist. But when you hear or you get a phone call, or you get an email or whatever regarding that there's a possibility you're going to a World Cup, what does that like fulfill everything that you've kind of set your mind out to as an official?
Hi, Harold. Firstly, I want to say thank you for having me here in Bermuda to give off my best to ensure that your league goes well.
Mhm.
Um, it was an overwhelming feeling when I got the email to say that I was going to the U17 World Cup, but it wasn't that a 100% feeling, because you're working towards a senior women's World Cup, so it's a start. So I was happy for it. I was elated, you know, so that was my feeling overall.
Yeah. Um, as many would say, a World Cup is a World Cup is a World Cup, but obviously you have your mind set on that senior World Cup. But looking at the fact that you stood out to do the under 17 World Cup, what was some of the feedback you were getting after the World Cup was over that would give you the sense that the next time the senior one comes around, um, your name's first on the list?
The feedback was good. They just told me that I need to put in a little bit more work and be consistent in whatever I'm doing. And I came back home and I tried to work on the stuff that they wanted me to work on, that they told me in the U17 World Cup. So it can only get better, one step at a time. So my eyes is still on the prize, so I keep working.
Sure. Talk a little bit about the work that you had done at home. Obviously, they have um, the male side, and they have ambitions. They have males in your country that have the ambitions of doing World Cups and all, and then you have the females. So, do you feel there's a sense of a balance that you're getting the same opportunity, training wise, information wise, and everything? You and the other females are getting the same treatment.
Yes, we are getting the same treatment. Everybody is on a level playing field back home. They try to share information amongst everyone so we can all be on the same path. And we are tier one officials, so we go out and we get the exposure also in the CONCACAF tournaments and the FIFA tournaments. So when we get those informations, we come back home and share it with our peers who is aspiring to reach our level, so everybody can be on the same playing field. So
Yeah,
it's a good look.
sure. And do you find working with the males push you more, or you like to help to push the females to make sure that you ladies have one up on the men?
Well, it's always a challenge. Males are normally stronger than women.
Mhm.
So since we have those males in Jamaica that are in the top as elite, us as females try to be with them. So we train with them to be better in our craft. When we go out on the international stage. So it's always good to have the males back home so we can rub shoulder or even surpass them sometimes. You
Yeah,
know. So it's a very good look.
yeah. How recognizable are you in Jamaica when it comes to um, you know in your neighborhood? Like, are the fact that you've done the under 20, under 17 World Cup. So do you feel added pressure, or you know, where someone in your neighborhood you can say to them, listen, there's an opportunity out there for you, just like me from this neighborhood.
Um, you know, since I've been representing myself on the international stage and persons back home are watching and seeing the work that you're putting in, I would say, but they say, hey, you are a star. Hey, I see you on my TV. Hey, I see you last night. Those are the kind of expressions I got from persons in my community. And I always try to give back and encourage persons to try refereeing because it works. It can help you to go places, to meet new people, so it's a very good thing to do. Don't
Yeah,
focus on the negative stuff like the spectators and so forth. Once you have an aim and a goal, you can reach it. So I always encourage persons to come along.
sure, sure. Let's talk a little bit about CONCACAF, and the information that they're sharing with the tier ones. I think it's gotten a lot better over the last few years because we now see more inclusiveness of the region, getting, more people involved, and I think it only benefits that more of the 41 countries in the CONCACAF region are involved, especially in officiating.
Yeah, it's a very good look for the Caribbean, to step out and show what we got because normally, it's the North Americans that are always on the big stage. So it's good to see that the Caribbean persons are really representing the Caribbean to show that we have the quality also to be in any finals, any semifinals, any competition that CONCACAF have. It's a good opportunity for us now in modern football. So it's a very good
Mhm.
look.
Yeah, and the fact that CONCACAF and now they have the women's, um, they just finished the round robin of the women's
Go
Dirty Go Cup, the men's Nations Cup, just added tournaments that can help the officials, it's not just the countries, but help the officials to hone in on their skills and improve and be recognized, and then get those call ups to do those World Cups and so forth. So now that we see that more, how pleasing is it for you as an official that years ago you look back, you probably would have done 2 games a year. Now you're doing 8, 9, 10.
Well, as I said, CONCACAF is always trying new stuff and trying things to get everyone engaged. So it's a good look now to have all these competitions going on. So it allow us as the Caribbean to step out, showcase our talent, give us the opportunity to be outside in the outside world rather than being home. As you said, giving us more opportunity to do more games rather than 2 games per year. So it allows us to shine, to motivate, to elevate our craft, to do what we have to do to stay within the bundle and to stay on top. So once we get those opportunities, we just have to go out, grab it with both hands, and make the best use of it.
Mm-hmm. Take us through your time in Bermuda this time around. How has the football been? How have they welcomed you?
Bermuda is being good so far. I'm from Jamaica, so I'm not used to the cold, but I survived for the period that I'm being here. You know,
Right,
um, I have Cranston here with me, showing me around and stuff like that. I have the other referee colleagues from FIFA. Big up to Natasha. She
right,
was my main mode of transport and my guide, tourist
hmm,
guide. You know,
right,
I've been on the street one whole day, just enjoying the moment of what Bermuda has to offer.
right,
So it's a very good look. And the football, the spectators are welcoming, the players are welcoming, they give me a positive vibe on the field of play, the energy is right. So
right.
I would always want to come back and give of my best.
Sure, sure, sure. Nobody told you how cool Bermuda could be in it.
Ja, no, because Princeton wanted me here so badly, and once I just text him that, hey, I'm available, he'd be like, oh, you gotta come. So I say, what's the weather like? Don't worry, you'll be fine. So that is it.
I do want to get a comment from you. It was what about 3 weeks ago? There was an incident where in Turkey football was suspended due to an incident where a president knocked out uh, the referee. We've seen violence increase, um, both verbally and physically over towards officials. What would be your biggest concern, that if these matters are not dealt with, you know, like as quickly as possible, things have to be done to sort of protect you, the officials.
Safety for most is most important for the match officials, because we are working in an hostile environment. Sometimes on the field of play, the best view is from the stands, because we as referee have to keep moving once the ball is moving, So I would say spectators sometimes have the better view than the officials on the field of play. So I think when you have a game, there should be security personnel specifically for the referees. So once you know that the final whistle will be out, then immediately those security personnel should get to the referee.
Mm,
So I think that is the most important thing for the safety of the officials on the field of play. Because on the field of play is only four of us, you know, maybe the match commissioner or who they have beside us to assist, so it's four against everybody else, you
right,
know.
right.
Even though you maybe have security personnel around the field, they cannot stop the crowd if they want to come onto the field of play. You're
Mm,
going to have a stampede or whatever. So I think designated security personnel should be assigned. So once you know that the game is close to finish, those are the security personnel that rush to the referees. You know, have some protocols, have some talk with us to say, all right, after the game end, all the referees go to the center circle, so immediately that is where the officials will be, so the security personnel can come near to our safety. So
mm,
I think that's
mm.
a good method for going forward. But
Sure, sure. I mean, that was why I had a similar thought as well, that security detail, not just one or two people, but a group of people have to be there to protect. Because if it's four of you, then there should be at least 8 to 10 security looking to make sure that your safety is ultimately the one thing that is protected,
right,
you and your team, because like you said, only 50% of the people are going to be happy. You know,
right, right.
yeah,
And even sometimes you're right, but in the public eye you're wrong.
right,
you know
yeah,
so you can't tell them until maybe a video evidence has come out to say, hey, look, the referee was right.
right,
Then that will be after the fact.
right.
you know so, and I
Be
think the
the
clubs and the organization of the league need to send out something in writing in bold to the clubs to know that, hey, violence against referee, we're not going to tolerate that.
mhm,
And even when the game is going on and you have a PA system that is announcing yellow cards or goals, you need to keep repeating it. No violence against the officials, whether wrong or right. So we try
mhm.
to be protective, to support. So I think those are things they need to implement going forward.
Well, I think that's something that the Bermuda Football Association can implement in a drop of a dime, um, and the clubs would have to honor that. I mean, what we want to do is make sure that everybody's safe, and we're looking out, because what we don't want to happen is something of that nature happen, and now you're chasing it.
True.
Then we've already seen it, then we should be then proactive and make sure it
Correct.
doesn't happen, in our land. So yeah. So um, so so Mr. Williams is quite a forceful young man, and I know he's been begging you and begging you and begging you to get to Bermuda. Um, so take us through how you would have met Mr. Williams and eventually now being in Bermuda.
Um, it's a long story. The first time we met officially was in Jamaica when he came there with Tashawn.
Uh-huh.
We did have some panel training and stuff for it. So that is where I officially met him.
Right.
And after the training session and stuff, I had a game, I think the weekend, and he came to watch that game in Arnett Garden. Normally, it's in the jungle.
Right.
It's not any referee you can send in the jungle back home to referee a Arnett game. So
Right.
I was the referee for that game and stuff going on in the game, and I have to become a man, have balls, have cohesiveness. So I start to bad up some players, in a Jamaica way and things so them understand and know say I don't want this on the field of play today. That is my way
Right.
of controlling,
Right.
and sometimes I'll tell players some stuff, but it's 1v1 and they understand me and respect, but not for the public.
Right.
So I think he saw the way how I managed that game. And then after the game, he was like, hey, yeah, one piece of bad girl. Never know what I play about. And then from there, the respect have grown and we keep in dialogue from there. He came back to Bermuda with Tashan. And from there, it's just history, until he said, hey, I need you in Bermuda. I need you, and stuff. So that is
Ah,
how I finally met him. And then I'm finally here now after so
right.
many months. So it's a good look.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we want to wish you all the best. Thank you again for coming to Bermuda and assisting us. Hopefully, you can come back very soon when it's warmer.
Oh, Lord. I need.
Uh, um, safe journey back to home. And we look forward to seeing you in that Senior World Cup next time around.
Thank you so much. And I'm working hard to get there. You
All
will.
right. All right.
And thank you for having me in Bermuda. I love it.
All righty. Thank you.
All
Enjoy
right.
your
Thank you
rest
so much,
of your
Earl.
day. Okay.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.